think this is fine. Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome to Mind Over Masculinity, the podcast where we break the barriers, defy the stereotypes, and challenge what it means to be a man in today's world. I'm your host Avik, and today we are diving into the trifecta of transformation: mindset, nutrition, and training. So it's all about self mastery, personal development, and building a life of purpose, discipline, and fulfillment. So today's guest is a powerhouse in the field of personal transformation, Gil Berry. So welcome to the show, Gil.
Hey, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Lovely, lovely. So Gil, before we start, I'll quickly love to introduce you to all of our listeners. Dear listeners, Gil is the founder of NPS Fitness. He has spent his life mastering the art of discipline, helping others smash through limiting beliefs, ditch the destructive habits, and unleash their inner warrior. So, from Division 1 athlete to a 30-year battle with addiction, Gil's journey is a testament to the power of resilience and human spirit. So, he is a husband, father of six, and a man who rises at 3 a.m. to tackle life head on. Yes. So, if you have ever wondered how to turn your life around and live with the purpose, then this episode is for you. So grab your coffee, tea, or whatever you any preferable beverage, or maybe your water, or whatever fuels your grind. Let's dive into today's conversation. And Gil, welcome to the show. It's really a privilege to have you here today.
Oh, the privilege is all mine, brother.
Lovely, lovely. So Gil, like your work is centered on developing a warrior mentality. So, what does that mean to you? I mean, how can someone who is feeling stuck or unmotivated start to adopt this mindset?
Yeah, well, we all have it inside of us. We all have that inner warrior, that beast, that savage inside. We just need to release it, And so, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're in a bad place, you really have to look in the mirror. You have to do a deep dive on yourself and see what's causing that problem. What's causing the limiting beliefs that's holding you back, that's keeping you from happiness. For me, and for many of us, it's the addiction to vices, drugs, alcohol, pornography, gambling,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, overeating, temper. You know, a lot of those things can withhold happiness from yourself. So for me, I had to look in the mirror and determine, why am I not fulfilling my destiny? Why am I not living my best life? Why am I not the man that I want to be? Why am I not the best version of myself? And so a lot of people think they need to start doing something like, what do I need to do to get out of this depression? What do I need to do to feel better? Oftentimes, Avik, it's not what you need to do, it's what you need to stop doing. It's what you need to remove from your life. Sometimes it can be a stressful job, it can be a bad relationship. Anything that has negativity attached to it, you need to remove from your life. As I said, for me, I had a great marriage. I have a great job and I love a lot of my life. But what was holding me back from reaching full capacity was the vices. So the first thing I had to do was drop all the vices. And, I was able to look at myself and determine that what was holding me back was my pleasure seeking, my addictions. So I was able to drop them cold turkey. Now, this was a many years of trial and error until finally I just looked in the mirror and said, Gil, you are the problem. Now it's time for you to be the solution. And at that point, I dropped the alcohol, I dropped the drugs. I still work on some things. Those were the main things, but I still have a temper that I have to work on every day. I still have a gluttonous appetite for food that I have to discipline myself and work on every day. But through my daily habits and stacking victories, starting the day with a positive mental attitude, I'm able to deal with those things in a much better way and all the other adversities. So when you're dealing with depression, when you're not feeling your best, when there's just something off, you're meant for more. You feel that you have a destiny and a purpose, but you're just not identifying with it. You're not aligned with it. You need to find a state of clarity and drop all negativity from your life. Anything that has regret, now that needs to be removed from your life. Identify what's causing you regret, either in the past or in the present, and use that as a roadmap of what not to do. You can't continuously look for happiness in the place that you've always lost it. You can't continuously go back to the drink or the drugs knowing that you're going to wake up regretting it and think that it's going to make you feel better. You have to remove those things. Regret is your guideline. That's a roadmap to tell you what not to do. And once you remove all of the negativity, remove all the vices, you can have clarity. You can start listening to your conscience and letting that guide you. And that's going to guide you to your alignment with the universe. That is the authentic voice of God speaking to you in your heart, in your chest. And once you have a clear frame of reference and you're in the state of mind where you can hear it, your conscience can guide you to the happiness, to the fulfillment, to the alignment.
True. Exactly. Very true. Very true. And so, like, you have got an impressive background as a Division 1 athlete in baseball, football, and basketball. So what lessons did you take from athletics, like, that you still apply to your life and coaching today?
Yeah, there was a ton of good things that I learned from being a highly competitive athlete my whole life. You know, my competitive spirit goes right along with my temper and my emotional ups and downs. So at a certain point, that can become a negative. Being super competitive can be good, but if you're not able to control the emotions and it leads to temper, then it can also be bad. But sports is a reflection of life, and definitely what I took away from my athletic career in a positive way was the competitiveness. You have to compete in life. You're not gonna achieve what you want to achieve if you don't have some competitive spirit, right? And you're not gonna compete at the highest level unless you have a desire to win. And if you nothing's gonna you're not gonna fulfill that desire if you don't do the preparation. So what sports taught me was hard work, preparation, discipline, consistency will help you achieve the results. Now, to be fully honest with you, even though I had success and, as you said, received scholarship offers in multiple sports and played Division 1 sports in baseball, I did that the whole time while pleasure seeking. And I wasn't fully committed. No matter how hard I work, you can't outwork the vices. You can't outwork the addictions. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up with you. So even my athletic career, due to the fact that I was using drugs and alcohol throughout, and I'm not talking about using steroids. I wasn't using performance enhancing drugs. I was using performance decreasing drugs. I was smoking weed, drinking on the daily basis, smoking weed 24/7. So
Oh,
now I have, that comes with regret. You see, now I look back on that, and for many years I looked upon myself and my life as a failure because I didn't make it to the highest level. My goal was to make it to the highest levels of sports, and I didn't. So I had self-esteem issues. I had self-image issues. I didn't like the person I was, and that crept into my whole outlook on myself. So I didn't feel the confidence. I didn't feel like I had fully achieved. So again, I wasn't in a happy place. I wasn't in a positive mindset. I felt that I had disappointed myself, my family. I had left a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to life. So that was regret creating a negative impact, a negative self image for myself. When I was able to sit down and say, let me learn from these regrets, let me learn, then I was able to move forward and begin helping other people and showing them that regret isn't something that you have a choice about. You're going to regret things that happen in life, but what are you going to do with that regret? Are you going to turn to substances to try and forget about it? Or are you going to learn from the mistakes and the regrets and become a better version of yourself from it?
very true. Yeah, definitely. And so on this, like you mentioned about the addiction. So you have been open about your 30-year battle with the addiction. So uh, what was the turning point? I mean, how did you rebuild your life from ground up?
I had to look in the mirror and realize like I'm very talented, I'm very smart, I'm very hardworking. I have high standards, I have principles, I have integrity, I have honor, I have all these good qualities. Why am I not getting the results that I'm looking for? Health, wealth, love, happiness. Why do I feel as if I'm operating at less than full capacity? So finally, when I identified that the full reason was my own self, I was the problem. I had to look in the mirror and say, Gil, you're absolutely a weakling. You are so soft and just disappointing. And it's because you're run by your vices. You are pleasure seeking. You're waking up every day smoking weed. You're drinking multiple times per week excessively. You're eating gluttonously on unhealthy foods. And you're wondering why you're not getting the results you want. You're wondering why you're looking in the mirror and not respecting what you see back. So when I've made that a priority, I want to look in the mirror and see the best version of myself. I want to look in the mirror and see somebody I respect. That's what clicked for me. When I stopped being a weakling, when I started becoming the best version of myself, I was able to drop all the vices cold turkey. And I became addicted to positive actions. I began reading and reflecting every day. I started getting up at 3 in the morning. I started participating in daily workouts consistently, and I've never missed. And I started eating right. I got on a macronutrient program. I learned macros. I learned workouts, and I dedicated myself to it. And I learned that to be fully satisfied with yourself, to respect what you see in the mirror, to become the best version of yourself, it's all about keeping your commitments. The integrity of if I say something, even to myself, if I just say it to myself, then I'm going to keep my word and do it. If I say it to you, I'm going to keep my word. Becoming a man of my word, a man of honor and integrity with full commitment to that was absolutely the game changer for me.
Wow. And limiting beliefs are sometimes something that we all face. So, what's the one most common limiting beliefs you see in your clients? So, what do you say?
The main cause of limiting beliefs is the fear of change, fear of failure, fear of what people think, fear of what's going to happen. People will continue to use the vices, use the drugs and alcohol, even though they know they don't want to because they're afraid of the change. Hey, Gil, I've always smoked, I've always drank, and I know because I've been there. They don't know what to expect. They're scared of what's on the other side of that door, but all they have to do is open the door and it's going to lead to a better life. They'll stay in a job that they hate. They'll commute for an hour or two to a job that they hate, that they're barely meeting their necessities financially, but they're in the routine. They can't see beyond the fear of change, and that limits what they can achieve. And it's that belief, the fear of change, the fear of what might happen to them, the fear of what are people going to think of me if I quit my job? What are my friends going to think of me if I don't go hang out at the bar? What are my friends going to think of me if I don't smoke weed with them? It's the fear of change and the fear of what might happen that limits everything in their life.
Very true. Yeah. And like you are a father of six right now and husband also. Uh, so how has being a leader in your family shaped your approach to the coaching and the personal development?
Oh, well, again, it comes back to the regrets. My kids have seen the good, bad, and the ugly with me. My wife's seen the good, bad, and the ugly with me. So for them to see the changes, it's one of the most gratifying things in the world because they've seen my battle with addictions. They've seen my temper lead to bad situations for all of us. They've seen the arrests. They've seen all these negative actions, right? So now, again, as I said with the vices, looking back, until you get clarity, you can't learn from your mistakes. So just
Mhm.
like with the vices where I had to look back and see, oh, this is why this happened. This is what I was using and what the result I was getting. It's the same with my parenting and with my family. I look back and I can have those honest conversations with my sons and my daughters, my wife, and we can come to an understanding of that wasn't right. Not only do I regret those things, but now I've learned from those things and I can be the man that my wife desires, the man that she deserves. I can be the father that my kids deserve, the father that they want. And it completely changes your relationships. When you stop living pleasure seeking and you start living for your purpose, and obviously our families are a huge part of that. But the alignment with your purpose is going to allow you to be the best version of yourself, and that's mind, body, and soul. And there's nothing more rewarding than being the husband, the father that your kids not only look up to, but respect, want to be like, are proud of. So to see the change in our relationships, the change in how they look at me, it's, I mean, it's the best thing in the world and it's super motivating. And for them to have the security knowing that I'll never go back to the old ways is priceless.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Great. What an incredible conversation, Gil. You have reminded us that greatness isn't about perfection. It's all about showing up, breaking through, and building a life that aligns with our highest potential. So, to everyone who is listening, what's one habit or one shift or one choice you can make today to move closer to the person you are capable of becoming? So, if this episode fired you up as much as I did for me, be sure to share it with a friend, leave us a review, and connect with Gil over at NPS Fitness. And remember that life isn't about being perfect, it's all about progress. So stay strong, stay focused, and as always, keep working on your mind over masculinity. So, this is your host, Avik, signing off. Thank you so much.